Well, Ulises, the Rays take 2 out of 3 versus the Boston Red Sox. That's a good thing, but the series isn't over. There is still one more game from this 4-gamer on Monday due to the rainout on Friday.
And it's a wraparound series. We hate those, but that's okay as long as you're winning them. So let's talk about this series right now.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we are the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your very first listen every day. Be sure to check out and subscribe to all of our podcasting platforms, including YouTube at Locked On Rays. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Rays. And email us anytime. We do plan on possibly doing a mailbag episode this week. So send them in, lockedonrays@gmail.com. Without further ado, let's get to our takeaways and observations from the weekend. Ulises, what do you got?
I had a lot of topics to choose from. One that was really close was lineup B from Sunday. I wanted to give those guys a shout out for doing what they needed to do. And that's probably not the game one playoff lineup that you would put, but they did their job. I want to focus on Tosh Bradley. Tosh, again, came through 5 innings, allowing 2 runs. Yeah, he walked 3, but ultimately the big picture is he only allowed 2 runs. So 5 innings, 2 runs. That's basically what has been the formula for Tosh. You give me 5 innings, allow 2 runs or less. And when you look at his game log, out of 7 games that he has pitched, he has always provided at least 5 innings except for 1 start. And he has always allowed 3 runs or less except in 1 start. That 1 start, of course, was against Toronto at the Trop where he went 4 and allowed 4 runs. And then we know that became the 20-1 game. So taking that one away, he has been pitching phenomenally. He has a 12.3 K per 9, a 2.0 walks per 9. The left on base percentage, which I love, it's at 74.2. That's going to get better. 360 ERA, very respectable. A 280 FIP basically means that he will be pitching better. At least he should. So these are all things that you should feel good about. A 22-year-old who has been given the ball and said, hey, we really need your help, probably earlier and probably for a longer period of time that we thought you were going to provide for us this year. But hey, these are the circumstances. Can you hook us up? And he's doing exactly that.
Yeah, credit to him for getting the W on the road in a raucous environment and not fun conditions. The rain, the cold, the wind, the chill, the gray, just not enjoyable. And a lot of strong lefties in that Red Sox lineup last I checked. That seems to be really the only thing that's going for the Red Sox lately is their offense, be it Yoshida, Devers, Verdugo, whatever it may be. And I know with Taj Bradley, he tends to get into a little trouble with, allowing the leadoff base runner on, but he's getting out of jams, and hopefully he's able to continue that. Again, he's going to have ups and downs. There's going to be a point where he's going to struggle and he's got to find his way through, but certainly cannot complain about what he's providing and much needed production from him with all the injuries to the starting pitching staff. And we know how the bullpen's doing. So being able to get 5 1/3, maybe 6 1/3 eventually, that would really be swimming when you compare that with the addition of Tyler Glass now and some others that are coming back in full.
Yeah, no, it's going to be really interesting how he develops throughout the season, because at one point you're going to, if you were to, let's say, get to playoff talk, okay, you got your McClanahan, you got your Glass, now you got Eflin. I know people say you only need 3 starting pitchers. You don't. You need more than that in playoffs, because you never know what's going to happen. You got to have more than that. And Taj being a really good option as a number 4 guy would kind of give you a breath of fresh air, because now you don't have to lean on the 22-year-old like you had to in 2021, when you look back and you were giving starts to Drew Rasmussen, who had never been there before, to Shane McClanahan did well in game one, but then he kind of faltered as a reliever in Fenway. You had to give the ball to not only Shane Boss and Drew Rasmussen too as rookies. So you wouldn't have to do that anymore with Tosh being slotted as the fourth guy. That would actually give you a little bit more sense of relief than having him be the number one, number two, or number three guy.
Yeah. And what's also a credit to him is I like the composure and the repeatable delivery. And even when he gets into a little bit of trouble, it's like he doesn't freak out. The moment doesn't get too big for him like it seems with some other young pitchers. So I'll be really curious to see how that goes and progresses. Hopefully, again, he stays healthy. That has been an issue for many Rays pitchers in the past, is the ability to stay on the field.
Yes, I do. I like what you said there about knowing to kind of calm yourself down in that big moment. There was, I believe it was the fourth inning. You guys can check me in the comments if I'm wrong, but he had a man on first. It was getting late in the outing. He was not really finding the strike zone. I think it was against Valdez. He gets down in the count 2-0. Kyle Snyder comes up. And usually Kyle Snyder, I think, seems like a more of a calm personality when he goes to the mound. In this one, the body language seemed kind of more like a little bit tougher. Like from what I could tell from body language, it kind of seemed like he was telling her, hey, dude, that's Valdez. You're Taj Bradley. Your stuff is going to dominate the hell out of him. So stop picking at the corners. Give him your best stuff right in the strike zone, and I guarantee you he's not going to make contact.
Yeah.
Now let's get to it, boy. Boom. He gets back. What happens? 1, 2, 3. You're out. He strikes him out with 3 really potent stuff. Pitches. That was pretty cool. So I'm glad that you highlighted the ability to kind of calm yourself down in that big moment when maybe the game might get away from you. Kyle comes in, he listened to Kyle, and then he go 1, 2, 3, and then he ends the inning. Very nice.
Yeah, Kyle Snyder, the pitching whisperer.
Yeah.
Whatever he's getting paid, they're not paying him enough by any means. So, all right, we've got more to discuss, but first we have to tell you something very important. For a championship team, it's all about making sure every player is a perfect fit. It's the same when it comes to your vehicle. Every part needs to fit just right. So the next time you need parts and accessories, head to eBay Motors. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, you can be sure every part you need fits right the first time around. Just add your ride to My Garage and look for the green check to know the part will fit or your money back. Because just like in sports, confidence is the name of the game when you shop on eBay Motors. And with over 122 million parts to choose from, you'll be back in the game in no time. After all, it's easy to bring home a win when the right parts are guaranteed. Get the right parts, the right fit, and the right prices on ebaymotors.com. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. So we touched on the pitching a little bit, Taj Bradley. I also want to touch on something that was a theme over the course of the 3 games on Saturday and Sunday. Run for the Rays. Not only did they get, 5 stolen bases that I tallied up between Franco, Rayleigh, Siri, Lowe, and I can't read my handwriting. Randy Rosarena.
Those sound like the guys. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. But beyond the base running and them going 30 for 30 consecutively without being caught is just remarkable. That's historic. Look up the numbers. That just does not happen, even with larger bases, even with rules changes and so forth. But just the in-game base running skill and heads-up play really showcased itself in this series. And we can talk about the Little League homer that Yandy Diaz put forth. We know he can hit 400-foot bombs, but Little League homers, we can also add that to his resume. He was probably not first on the list of guys to have an inside the park dinger like that. I probably would have listed Siri or Franco or Margot or Randy.
Right.
Is that the first inside the park homer this season for the Rays? I would think it'd be.
I
could be
think
wrong.
it is. I
Okay.
think it is. I do want to obviously agree with everything that you have said about the base running. I mean, my goodness, do you guys remember how bad, awful the base running was in 2022? Like, it was like, you're like, what? Oh, this is so anti-Rays.
Yeah.
And, we had our conspiracy theory that, they were just telling them go, 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 because next year we're going to go, go, go again with the bigger base, with the bigger bases. And we're going to get used to that stuff. That's the aluminum foil conspiracy hat that we have. But when you say Yandy Diaz, not the likely outcome for the Little League homer, I'd like to give recognition to somebody that we haven't really spoken his name much this season, which is good because he's a third base coach, and you shouldn't really say things about the third base coach, because if you do, then it's probably not good things. Brady Williams, man. That was such a good send of Margot to kind of read the play. So I do think that we should give some props there to Brady Williams. Really good job. And again, like I just said, really good job this season, because not only he does have a part to play in the base running with the good sense or not. And we haven't had a lot of like, oh, why did he send him there? Which is good. So I do want to give take the opportunity of the Little League homer to say good props to Brady Williams there.
Right. And also just when you're watching a game and you see a shallow sack fly and the Rays send whoever's at third, give him a clap on the back. Give him a kudos for doing that. The aggressive force, especially teams like the Red Sox, bad defensive teams, force them to make a play. Force them to make a throw. Force them to put pressure on themselves. So that's one thing. And then on throws to home, people that have watched the games have probably already observed this, but even a guy like Yandy Diaz, you don't have to be the most fleet of foot. You can advance to second on that throw to home, even when it's cut off. And there were just so many instances over the course of these 3 games on Saturday and Sunday where even when the Red Sox infield is playing in and they know that they have to throw the ball to home, and Yandy Diaz chops a ball and you get the run score. Like, little things like that are so big. Or when there's a base hit to left field and Yoshida bobbles it, botches it. All right, Isaac Paredes, it's time for you to get from second to home. Mm-hmm. Just little maneuvers like that really, really make a big difference. And I'm excited to see that going forward. If there's one, issue, but something to watch out for is the more that these guys are running, it does maybe lend itself to an opportunity to tweak something, to hurt something, whether it's leg, hamstring, bad slide, whatever it may be. So there could be an increased issue with that. And then as you get later on in the season, I'll be really interested to see how these guys' legs hold up with all this running around. But I'm all for it. I think it's great for baseball.
Yeah, it's a more fun type of baseball. To see these guys running around. And again, like you said, 30 for 30, that's unbelievable. I mean, if just one player would do that, it's crazy. The whole team doing it is historic, like you said. In order to get the number 1 record, however, they'll have to overtake the 2013 Red Sox, who went 39 for 39. So they're getting close little by little, but hopefully they're able to get that. That would be kind of a cool little crown to get in 2023. A couple big historic records, with the streak to start the year, tying that, and then hopefully getting this one as well.
Yeah, we have more to discuss, but first, Ulises, we have to tell the audience about something extremely important.
Yes, we want to tell you that this show is sponsored by BetterHelp. It's so easy to get caught up in what everyone else needs from you, and that you never take a moment to think about what you need from yourself. But therapy can help you, give you the tools to find more balance in your life so you can support others without leaving yourself behind. So if you're thinking of giving therapy a try, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. They also have the app so that you can honestly do it from your phone, or you can do it from your laptop, or however you desire. So find more balance with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/lockedonmlb today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/lockedonmlb.
Well, good thing that the Rays won 2 out of 3. One thing that wasn't so good was Brandon Lowe's little oopsie dropsy, the drop heard around the world. So what is this? The second time in 2 weeks that we've seen a grave mistake or error defensively for Brandon Lowe, not to mention what he's doing or not doing at the plate. He's struggling, man.
He is struggling, man. And it's now leaking to the defensive part. I mean, it's not like he's a Gold Glover. If you're Locked On Rays every dayer, you know that I've never been completely fond of his glove work at second base. But that's not to say that I'm expecting pop-ups to not be caught. I know before some people are like, you're crazy. There was a lot of weather. There was a lot of wind. You're right. It was awful conditions. But can I go back to the fact that like other players had to field pop-ups and they did it, and flyouts and they did it?
Yeah.
And he was the one that didn't do it. I hope not, but we know that when you're struggling mightily on one side of the ball, it can leak to the other. So maybe that's what's happening. Hopefully not, man. I mean, this team is better when Brandon Lowe is doing Brandon Lowe things.
Yeah.
His WRC plus is now at 96, so he is now below an average player's offensive production. So look, let's hope that June is a little bit kinder to him. It's a little bit more like April than May, because May was awful for him. But yeah, it's definitely in everybody's minds right now.
Harold Ramirez needs to rub off some of his magic, some of his clutch factor, some of his, I'll just wake up and go 2 for 3 or whatever it is. Or it's a critical point of a ball game. I can come through with a hard single or base hit the other way, whatever it may be.
He's so good. He's so underrated, Harold. Luke Raley too. I mean, he was hurt for a couple days, and then he comes back to the lineup, and he has fun, and he has a couple hits. Like whatever Luke Raley did, I put this on Twitter. Whatever Luke Raley did in these last 2 to 3 days that he was off, Brandon Lowe needs to completely mimic everything. What did you eat? When you go to the bathroom? What book did you read? All of these things, he needs to copy them exactly so that maybe he can, get some hits back in his.
That would be nice for sure. And what's crazy is that Harold Ramirez and Luke Raley, they may not be on the team after this year, depending on how things shake out and what moves need to be made one way or the other. So
insanity, man. And so, okay, so are you thinking June will be better for Brandon Lowe? Yes or no?
Hopefully, yeah. Unless this back issue turns to be a larger problem than what we may think it is right now. But it has to be. It can't be much worse. I know we have very streaky Brandon Lowe, so I imagine he'll eventually find it. Good thing he's not a golfer, because mentally he would just, where any game that is, mostly mental, I guess baseball is in that sense, but he beats himself up so much that I would not, he'd be like a guy that, one day he'd shoot, 9 under, the next day he shoots like 12 over. It's like, is this guy even a pro? What's going on here? So,
and the body language, man, we've talked about the body language so much. Like, you can tell when he is ticked off. Like he has no poker face at all. We've always made that joke. Like if there's a poker game and Brandon Lowe is in it, I want to be in that table, because I know when he's doesn't have a good hand or not. Like that would be so obvious. We need him, man. We need him badly.
Do the Rays get the win this afternoon? Shane McClanahan going up against Brayan Bello.
Yeah, I think that's a good matchup to say yes to that. Hopefully the offense gives Shane some early run so that he can just basically, cruise by those 6-7 innings against that Boston lineup.
Yeah. Shane, let's go 7. Let's go 8. You know what? Let's go 9. Let's not see that bullpen. We don't need to see Jalen Beeks the rest of this Red Sox series.
You know what? Nice. Very nicely done on Sunday, that bullpen. New guy, Stevenson. That was nice. Who else pitched yesterday?
Not Joe LaSorsa.
No, man. He was taken off. He was DFA'd. I hate it. He was my guy. I even put it on Twitter. He's going to stick, not like an hour and a half later. He was DFA'd. No, let me check real quick. So Stevenson pitched 2/3. He got into a little bit of a walk issue there. Then Diekman came through an inning and a third. Diekman might be the find of the year if he keeps pitching like he is, because he's doing really good stuff. He got that held. And of course, Sean Armstrong pitching 2 innings. He looked real good. 1 walk allowed, 3 Ks. That's exactly what this bullpen needs. More zeros, more Ks.
Absolutely. All right. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you tomorrow.